So as they said, my name's Grace Ingabire. I'm the CEO of RICTA. RICTA is the registry of Rwanda. So we are a not-for-profit organization. So on top of managing the RWCCTLD, we manage a critical infrastructure of the country that is called an exchange point. So our exchange point is called Rhinex, but on top of that, we do a lot of activities around the community. So basically, we are the voice of the internet community in Rwanda. So now, today, I'm here just to share about the story of Rwanda. So from the humble beginning where we started to where we are. So I believe most of you guys know where Rwanda is, but I did it purposely because we have some foreigners who have never been to Rwanda or Africa. So I come from Rwanda. Our country is a country known as 1,000 of hills. It's located in East Africa with 14 million of population. So we used to be known for the tragedy that happened back in 1994, which is the genocide against the Tutsi. But now, things have changed. We are now recognized for our remarkable, let me repeat this, remarkable recovery and progress because of unity, reconciliation, and the spirit of working together. This made the foundation for the building the nation that we have today. So today, Rwanda stands as a symbol of resilience, innovation, and national pride. So we speak 3 languages on top of the French. We have our local language, which is Kinyarwanda. So I'm here just to share about how RW got repatriated back to Rwanda, the progress, how we started, and where we are today. So the story of Rwanda is more of a resilience and pride. So the domain name, which is .rw, is a story of struggle, determination, and national pride. So what started as an online country code, managed far away from Rwanda, has grown into a trusted digital identity, fully managed locally as of today. Next. So when the .rw was introduced or created back in the 90s, 96, it was managed outside of Rwanda by an operator called Nick Congo Interpoint. So the manager was called Frédéric Gregoire. At that time, I remember I was still in senior school. So the internet was really not yet in Africa. It was in its early stages. So what happened in that time, and Rwanda was trying to recover from the genocide against the Tutsi. So Frédéric Gregoire did not have only .rw, but he had other countries. So those countries that he had was .bi for Burundi, .zr at that time for Zaire, which became .cd for Democratic Republic of Congo. So just imagine as a country, for you to get your local resources, you have to write to someone who is based in Switzerland. So this was really challenging to us as Rwandan. Next slide. So what we did, we said, let's put our hands together and see how we can repatriate or redelegate our resources back to Rwanda. So the first attempt, of course, there was a lot of frustration around. I remember back in 2005, I was working for an operator, an ISP. So we used to manage .rw, but not fully. We had the second level domains, but when someone was to register .rw, we had to write to Frédéric Gregoire. So that process will take days, weeks, and months. So for people in Rwanda, as long as you provide your ID or your passport, he used to give the service for free. But for foreigners like Netflix, Google, and the rest, he will charge a fee. And at that time, it was around 225 euros a year. But just imagine the process of getting your local resources after 1 week or after 1 month. So frustration became too much in the country. So we said, what can we do? The government supported us a lot. So the first attempt or the first request was made back in 2002. Unfortunately, it did not succeed. So maybe a recommendation that I can give, I have met several African countries who come to study from our experience how we repatriated. So it's good to engage the government, but don't put them ahead. So put ahead the community, then it will be much smoother. So the negotiation with ICANN and Frédéric Grégoire did not succeed at the first attempt. Then we had to go back and review what was going on. And actually, ICANN at that time recommended us that for a country to manage the CCTLD, it should not be owned by government. It should be owned by an entity, a separate entity, a private entity. So then, when we realized that, back around 2011, I joined Richter myself in 2012, and I joined Richter, at that time I was an engineer. So my background is an ICT professional. So the regulator requested that we create a separate entity to do the repatriation for .rw. So that's when, back in 2012, that's when Richter was created as a not-for-profit organization, private, fully private. Then in September 2012, that's when we write again to ICANN. And within, just imagine, between 2000 and 2011, so all the attempts that we tried were failing. So Frédéric Grégoire wanted money. And we understand this because if it was you were managing a service for more than 2 decades, it was a source of revenue for him, and suddenly a country that comes to say, bring back all the resources back to Rwanda. So the management of .rw became fully in country. So we repatriated all the resources and all the data were hosted locally. So now, what's after the repatriation? So we started building the foundation back home. So the infrastructure is fully managed locally. So what we did, we started choosing a platform for domain registration. So we had a choice of Fred versus Coca. So we went for Coca because it was more easier to manage and mostly used by CCTLDs, and at that time it was open source. So we are still using Coca as of today. And then we started working on the pricing models. Remember the story I told you, when Grégoire was managing RW, he used to charge 225 euros per domain for foreigners. So locally what we did, we tried to create a price that will look for locals so that they don't go for our competitors, our .com and the rest. Though it's not bad, but you wanted to push for RW domains locally. So we started the journey with $30 and today we are at $10. But for foreigners, from 225 euros, we are at 150, but our plan is not to stay there. So we are continuing pushing, going down until we harmonize our prices both at the African continent and as well for foreigners. Then later on, we had time to create a network of registrars. We use a 3R model, registry, registrar, registrant. So we created a pool of registrars locally first, and as of today, we have close to 32 registrars. Then internationally, we have 15. So the infrastructure was there, in-house, everything hosted home with registrars, pricing very affordable to everyone locally. Then we went out. So what we had to do is to do some campaign, more initiative, just to grow our numbers. And one of the things that we focused on for the previous year are strategic partnership. So what we usually do, we partner with technology communities, we partner with private sector, professional association to grow our numbers. So of recent, something probably that I can talk about is more of an integration that we did last year. So last year we managed to integrate RW domains with Irembo. Irembo is a platform that enables Rwandans to access their services. It can be your ID, it can be your passport. So now we have availability of RW on that platform, so which gives more visibility for Rwandans to access all the services in one platform. So it was a major achievement that is pushing our domains to grow locally. So what is ahead, just as I conclude? So the domain is open, our infrastructure is ready, and the market is growing, so you are welcome to be part of it. Thank you.